Welcome back to the program Power to Unite with Elvira. This is already part 2 of our beautiful conversation with Scott Neeson, the founder of the Cambodian Children's Fund. So he did give up a lot just to show his love, his concern, his genuine care, and he gave so much hope to a lot of children, especially those in the field, and it was he becomes a catalyst. He was given a mission. He's not aware when he come here because he was enjoying his life as the president of 20th Century Fox and then Sonny. He didn't see the other world. The Asian countries needed him. It's only when he come back here during our part 1 conversation that he realized that my life is empty, isn't it? And he feel he has to do something. So he gave up everything in Hollywood, the power, the connection with beautiful stars, the decision to be somebody on top, telling everyone like this and like that, the pressure. He gave all this one because he saw, I think children should be given a chance. And he is proving through this Cambodian Children Fund what he can do. Mr. Neeson, thank you so much. I know you are in a hurry, but your life is beautiful. And really, the Filipino televiewers wants to learn and be inspired by you. Have you any inclination when you were young that you will end up doing this foundation?
Not
what
at all.
kind of life do you have? Are you an Australian, not American?
I was born in Scotland. I grew up in Australia. I worked in America for most of my career. So I've got many homes now. Yes.
So how do you feel the constant change of one work to another? So how does it influence you to stay put in Cambodia? Because you have been traveling a lot and then suddenly you make a 360-degree. So what do you think is really motivates you so that one day you will end up in Cambodia? There are so many countries that needed you. You can do a lot of change.
Yeah. Well, I think first of all it was what are your priorities in life? And I made the shift that I'd earned a lot of money and I had a lot of material goods, but ultimately that wasn't going to be enough for me. I didn't want to be retired and maybe on my deathbed and feel good that I had millions of dollars in the bank or a big house, fast car. That to me is not a life goal. I know now that having 2,000 children through school or 60,000 people, medical treatments, it's got a lot more meaning to it. And I never thought in a million years I'd be drawn into a charity. I came from a poor background and I never finished high school myself.
Okay.
So I got my job as a cinema projectionist, running projectors, and I worked up from there. So it was a very unlikely journey to become
the president.
Yeah, in a film studio. So it was an unlikely journey, and it was difficult because when you're in Hollywood, everyone tells you how lucky you are, and so when I told people I wanted to give it up, I wanted to move to Cambodia, help these children, everyone, even close friends,
you're crazy.
Yeah, and it does impact you. You've got so many people telling you you're crazy. You're giving up the best job, how lucky you are. There's obviously hundreds of people below who want your job or pushing upwards, and everything pushes you to feeling like all the pressures, all the people push you to believing that the more senior you are, the higher you are in a corporation or the film business, the happier you should be. And of course, if you're not happy, then you end up rationalizing internally that there's something wrong with me. That there's something wrong with me, that I'm not happy even though I'm president, but you don't voice it because no one's going to understand and no one's going to give you any advice. So it ends up being very much a decision of the heart. You have to look inside yourself because no one's going to understand, no one's going to give you encouragement to leave Hollywood and work on a garbage dump.
And you never get married?
No, I didn't, no.
So, but I think after telling me a little bit about your childhood, now I know why you empathize with the
absolutely.
poor. Because you said you come with a poor background.
Yes.
You never finish education.
Finished high school. No.
But you were able to end up as president of 20th Century Pass and Sunny Corporation.
Yes.
It's an achievement. Because in America, as long as you have the guts, the will,
Yes.
you know, you can succeed, right?
You can,
So
yes.
you can succeed. But sometimes this is not reality. You know, this is not the real world you are searching for. Your heart is still there looking for something where you are not ashamed of your background, but rather you feel with my success, I still have to do something to
Yes.
make it, you
Yeah.
know. That's why when you decided to set this foundation, did your father said, are you crazy?
He was the one that thought I was crazy because having not had an education, he was always concerned that I would go back to being poor again, like when I was a child. He was always concerned that leaving my corporate life and I was putting too much on the line. I could end up going back to where we were 50 years ago.
Do you have a very close relationship with your mom and your
I did,
dad?
yeah, both my mother and father. Yes,
And
I did.
you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother, and he comes out. I have one brother, and he's out here in Cambodia 2-3 times a year. He helps me enormously. He loves it. He absolutely loves it here. It changed everything.
We will continue, you know, our beautiful conversation with Mr. Scott Neeson sa babagli po ng Power to Unite with Elvira. Now I understand why you were able to give up everything. You had
Yes.
nothing to lose.
No,
Because you
I
know,
know.
you understand the situation. I think that's the beauty of it, you know, that you are just paying back. You know,
Absolutely, yeah.
because you were given the chance also. So why not give others a chance? If you can succeed, why not other?
No.
And what is the best is the Cambodian children, the orphan, the poor, you know.
And growing up poor as well, having a very poor background, it gives me the ability to know what the children need to hear about they've got potential, they're great kids, they're loved, I'm proud of them, all the things that you want to hear as a child in the same situation. You end up understanding, you empathize, and you know, I can see myself in the eyes of these children.
Yeah,
And
so you see yourself
I
there,
know
yeah.
I know what they need to hear in order to be motivated. And you know, they call me father, and I know I'm closer in most cases to the child's real father, because there's obviously a lot of violence, alcoholism. Fathers have run away in the community where I work, not in Cambodia as a whole, but certainly in this one community where there's a large number of dysfunctional families.
Everywhere.
And this is a place where I feel like I was meant to be. Everything just came together. All the years of working in a business, film industry, my own background as a child, it all just came together in the perfect place where I was meant to be.
And for those who are graduating after spending
Yes.
15 years, I
I've got
think isn't it
200
nice?
in university.
Yeah, imagine they could do something to help, you know, follow your footsteps
Yes.
and be of service to their country, to their fellow, you know, poor people, you know.
And the beauty for me, the real sense of legacy is that those children that have come off the garbage dump and they've now been through a great education, they have a good understanding of values, of family. When they have children, those children will never know the same poverty. And when they have grandchildren, say 40, 50 years from now, that piece of poverty, we've broken that generation cycle. Their children and all the children that follow, they will never know poverty. We've broken it forever. And that's real legacy. I mean, when I'm well and truly dead and gone, there'll still be these children who have better lives, middle-class lives, loving parents, good educations, because you know, I made the decision to come here. And that's probably the best, that's what I want my legacy to be. Not statues, but just knowing that each of these children were brought in will have children who won't know poverty, abuse, the suffering that their parents did. I give out photographs to all of their kids because I don't believe their grandchildren will believe the poverty they came from. They're living on a garbage dump, the suffering, the complete neglect. their grandchildren will be middle-class children, and I want them to understand what their grandparents had to achieve in order for them to be there.
Sacrifices, you know, that life, they are born with a different situation. They should not lose it. They should not take it for granted. But this is happening in the third world country and the rich countries. Because the parent doesn't like them to suffer, so they were spoiled, they were given everything, and that's the disaster.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
I've given out 12,000 photographs because I want them to understand their roots. It's nothing to be ashamed of. They should be proud of their grandparents that they overcame such
obstacle in life.
Yes, they had to. They suffered and they overcame, and because of that, the grandchildren have such better lives because of it. And that's a wonderful legacy.
And I think you are doing the right job because you empathize with them. You don't want things that happen to you will happen to them. So you give them the chance, you give them the opportunity.
It's not pity. There's no pity needed. It's all about
it has to be
empathy.
Something that you don't ask for payback, but rather we gave you the opportunity, do the best you can to help others. It's now it's your turn to do something.
Yes.
It's not, they don't have to pay you back because
not at all.
You gave it for
very
free.
Clear about that.
Because you know, you understand because you were given the chance also.
It has to be unconditional.
It's
it has to be unconditional
love.
Anyway, it's unconditional love, unconditional care, opportunity. There's no obligation to pay back. And
so for 15 years, you never regret the decision,
no, not at all.
Right?
No.
So you feel very complete as a person.
I do. I completely. I really do.
You were surrounded by love.
More than anyone else I know. More than anyone else.
Yes, and the smile, the hug.
The smile, the light in the eyes. And I'd love for you to see the video that shows the children as I found them and where they are now. There's such a distinct change in their faces, the smiles, the light that comes out, and that's just, you can't put a value on that.
Don't you feel children's needs are very simple?
Absolutely, yes.
That's why do we have to deny them?
But it's also, we make it so complicated.
Yes.
It's hard to, I mean, children's needs are very simple, but somehow we are messing up kids by raising them without those fundamental things.
Yes.
Children need to be taught rules. You can't be, a parent's not meant to be the best friend. They're not meant to be the confidant. I mean, children have to understand rules. You have to be somewhat strict. Otherwise, they grow up without knowing boundaries. You have to show them love. You have to express it with words, actions. You have to make sure that they're confident, they're worthy of being loved. And that's really, there's not much more beyond that.
You see, that's why make the world so complicated when these future leaders, only need simple life. They only needs love and understanding. They need, if I need to talk to you, there is somebody willing to listen. That's why we in the media also should play a role by listening to the, because 20 years ago is very different from now. 40 years ago is very different. So we also need to be educated. I think it's us who should be educated, not the children.
Yes.
Because we don't understand the world. We still think, do this, do that. No, it's not that kind of world anymore.
No.
We are sending a message. The media are listening. The media is giving you an opportunity. That's why we are training them with the video. Tell us a story about you, So that's why our theme for the third Southeast Asia Video Festival this year is United in Love, because we believe no matter where we are, no matter who we are bounded by love.
We are.
That's the word. You do all these things because of
simple.
the goodness in your heart, the love, So that was really a beautiful conversation that we have.
Thank you.
We will come back for you to give a message to the Filipino, your experience. So magbabalik po ang programa ng Power to Unite. Dahil alam ko po, excited na po kayo. Ano kaya ang masasabi ni Mr. Neeson? Siya po ang tabayan ninyo. Mr. Scott Neeson, this is the first time that our country will hear you will be inspired. Many philanthropies, we call that philanthropies all over the world. In the Philippines, we also have a lot. But it's different when you can feel the genuine.
Yes, authenticity. It's
yes,
so
it should not be like
critical.
this company, this person donated 100 millions and then show it in the newspaper. You never did that. You get yourself involved, spend a lot of your own time and money because you feel you owe it to them. You feel that you have to show them your sincerity for them to trust you. The word is trust, respect, and sincerity. For them to say,
yes,
I found somebody who really cares for me. That's where the horizon becomes brighter for them. So any message would you like to share with our Filipino? I'm sure you have seen the Philippines.
I have.
I
love it there.
We also have the same kind of situation. You choose Cambodia, but that's okay, because they have a very tragic history, and I believe they should be given the chance.
Yes.
They should remember the past. They should not forget about it, but see to it, it will not be repeated again.
Yeah, that's the issue with history. History forgotten is history repeated.
Yes, so any message
the message is, one of the things I found out, one of the messages that I realized is that I think as human beings we tend to deny ourselves our own ability, our own potential. We tend to think that we don't have the power to do something, that if we step out of what people consider as normal, that will fail. And what really made me change was partly the horror, but it shocked me that I had the potential to make so much change in just one person's life. Mother Teresa, I think, said, if you can't feed 100 people, then feed just one. And that's where I started from, just getting that one child into school, and then the family, getting the younger sister into hospital, and expanded from there. But we have so much more power inside us, so much more ability than I think we realise. And I feel strongly that if we don't try and utilise our own potential, then we can never be truly happy. The greatest reward is being able to do something for others, doing something where there'll be no payback, there'll be no remuneration back for it. That's where I think joy in life comes. And unless we take that step and try and use our full potential, then we don't have any hope of having a really fulfilled, happy life. That's my own belief, based on my own experience.
And I think I agree with you. I have seen what kind of person you are with our short interview. Narinig po niyo sa part 1, part 2 ng interview natin sa kanya na he has a big heart, he has goodness in him, but he was able to realize he can do much more. By helping the Cambodian poor people, he was able to make a lot of changes. He gave up so much in his life, the power, the pain, and everything. He said, fast car, everything. But for him, life is not complete. There is still something lacking because he grew up in a poor family. He empathized. Then when he was exposed to Cambodia the first time at the dump site, then he realized that 360-degree turn around, because it reminds him he was given a chance from being poor, then becoming, not to finish education, become the president of 20th century Pasani. Why not give others a chance? I think this is what motivates you. And you are just doing what is expected of you, but it's because you are very compassionate. He really cares. What is important, we cannot always receive and receive. What is important, we should realize that person sacrificed so much, so we have to pay back, not to him, but by helping other, do service other, and finish education. I think that's the most important thing we learn. If you have the chance to do something for a change, do it. You have the power in you, but see to it this power can benefit a lot of others, but not because for yourself. Stop thinking about yourself. Let others who benefit from you realize that they can also do something. So I hope you like the episode, and we really thank Mr. Scott Neeson for giving us time. I know he has to leave early because so many appointments. He is very loved.
Children
Napakaganda po ang sharing ni Scott Neeson sa atin na I hope we can learn from him. So, nakita po natin napakalaki ng kanyang puso, at sana nagustuhan yung episode namin at mapapanood natin another episode next week. Iba naman po ang atin mai-interview. So, stay tuned with the program Power to Unite with Elvira.